This is Vargas, recording from not the Vargas Vault. We're actually staying with my parents-in-law for a little bit, so I'm recording from their house, not from the regular Vargas Vault. Went to pick up some movies with Movie Freak Bazaar. Short, well, relatively short batch of movies. It's actually 2 weeks worth of pickups. I've probably mentioned him a bunch of times. Movie Freak Bazaar is a Facebook seller. He sells he has this a Wednesday sale where he gets new merchandise and puts it up on Wednesday through his Facebook page. And he opens up the albums, and you can reserve what you want to buy. But it's first person that leaves a comment, first person that gets the stuff. But he also has a store, a physical store, where you can go and buy stuff. Unfortunately, of course, if you want to get something that you really want, and you need to reserve your stuff on Wednesday. Which is why I normally do. I normally buy my stuff, and then I go to his store, and if I see something else that I wanted, I'll pick up. So this is 2 weeks worth of DVDs and actually some CDs I bought. So let's get started. If you've been following my channel or know me personally, you know that I like to get. I still collect physical media, of course. But CDs, I still buy CDs, especially CDs that are from a band that I like, or if they are movie soundtracks. Movie soundtracks are really cool. Well, depending on the movie, of course. There are a bunch of movies that might not have a good soundtrack, or there might be movies that are not necessarily good, but the soundtrack saves it. And you have to be careful because when you're buying movie soundtracks, because you might get the movie soundtrack, which includes the music that plays, the songs that play in the movie, or you could accidentally buy the movie score, which just has like the background music. I learned that from Iron Man. I bought an Iron Man 2 soundtrack, and I thought it was the AC/DC soundtrack, but it's actually the score, so it just has like the background music that was used in Iron Man 2. When the one I wanted was the soundtrack, not the score, the soundtrack, which had the AC/DC songs. But I'm going off topic. So when you're buying, if you want to buy a soundtrack that has the songs for a movie that you like, make sure you're buying the soundtrack and not the score. Just a quick tip. So I saw this. It's I actually want to get the other two, because it's part of a set. I already own the movies. It's called the Cornetto Trilogy, which is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. And I have the movies. They're freaking amazing. I freaking love them. But I want to get the soundtracks, and the Movie Freak Bazaar had this one, which is the soundtrack for The World's End, the third of the Cornetto Trilogy. Shaun of the Dead is zombies, Hot Fuzz is action, and The World's End is sci-fi. And it's really cool. The movie is really cool. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. And now I have the soundtrack. Another motion picture soundtrack that I picked up. I like this one. A lot of people I know went to see it because it was Paul Walker's last movie. And I would see it because it had Jason Statham. So in my mind, I kind of made this whole backstory that it was the Transporter versus, the Fast and the Furious. And basically that's what that was. But I picked up the soundtrack for Furious 7. I still like Fast and the Furious 5 the best. I really like that movie. Then the first one, and then this one. This one was a lot of fun, I think. And this one I have to cover up a spot. Picked up Alien Vampires. I don't follow this band, I'm going to be honest. But Movie Freak Bazaar had this in the special section because he has different albums, You don't know because I don't remember if I mentioned this, but he has different albums. He has like a Blu-ray album, so it's only Blu-rays. A TV series, so it's only TV series. Then he has the special album, which is movies that he finds that are kind of hard to find or out of print. The CD album, and then the classic album, which is movies that I hunt for that one, but it might be series movies that other people might not know about. But he had this one in the special, and then he passed it to the normal music's album, and I picked it up. It's a 2 disc set. I have to cover the boobies because you can see the boobies. And it has one CD and then a second CD, which is remixes of some songs in this one. And yeah, I didn't know about it. I was curious why he had it in the special album. So when he put it in the regular music album, I picked it up. And I haven't opened it yet, but I did search on YouTube a couple of their songs, and some of the songs in this album are really cool. So that's why I picked this one up. Always give new music a chance. While I do have bands that I enjoy, I prefer, I do like to give different music a chance. Just like with movies. Now, movies I picked up with him. Been searching for this one because I'm trying to complete my Disney animated and live action collection. And he's been getting a lot of really good Disneys. So I picked this one up. And this is the 2-disc thick box of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And this is a 2-disc set. Doesn't come with the book, which is a bummer. But when you buy used DVDs, that's something that you're gonna come across. But it's a story of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Captain Nemo creates I always butcher the name. What's the name of the ship? The Nautilus, which was also in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. But it stars Kirk Douglas, which was a really good actor. I don't know if he's still alive, actually. But the second disc comes with a bunch of special features, which is always cool. I love the special features. And yeah, this is one of the earlier Disney live action movies. If memory serves me right, the first live action one was Treasure Island. I think this might have been the second one. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's great to find these really old Disney movies. I need to find a copy of Something Wicked This Way Comes and Watcher in the Woods. Those are the two older live-action Disney movies that I'm missing. Oh, and the original Shaggy Dog. That's another one I need to pick up. Probably the last video I did, I showed that I bought a Pink Panther box set, which had all of Peter Sellers, well, most of Peter Sellers' movies in that box set, where he played Detective Clouseau. But I mentioned that it was missing one. It was missing Return of Pink Panther, and as luck would have it, Movie Freak Bazaar had Return of Pink Panther. So now I have all the Peter Sellers movies. It's very weird that this is not part of the Pink Panther box set. The reason why that happens is, different companies own the rights, and until, they don't get together and make a good payment plan for royalties and shit like that, well then, all the movies would not be included in the box set. But thankfully I was able to get the Return of the Pink Panther, so now I have a complete set of Peter Sellers' Inspector Clouseau Pink Panther collection. Another one for the Disney live action, Into the Woods. I remember seeing this the trailer for this, and I wanted to see it with my wife because we like these fairy tales. It was kind of like a fairy tale musical, and it has Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt, and Anna Kendrick. Chris Pine, and Johnny Depp. So it was like a mashup of all these fairy tales, because you have, you know, characters from fairy tales interact with each other, like Rapunzel, or um, Rapunzel interacting with Little Red Riding Hood, so stuff like that, but in a musical form. So we wanted to see it, didn't get a chance to see it. Finally found the DVD. I had no idea of this. I didn't know that Gone in 60 Seconds, the Nicolas Cage movie that he did with Angelina Jolie, was actually a remake. No idea of this. I did not know that. And I only found out because Movie Freak Bazaar had this, and it's the original that I didn't even know existed. The original Gone in 60 Seconds. So yeah, I didn't even know this existed, but I found the original one. So now I have to watch this so I can compare it with the Nicolas Cage one. Now, of course, right off the bat, Nicolas Cage is going to win because it's Nicolas Cage, you know, but I'm still curious to see that one. And one of the promos that he has is that if you buy DVDs from the classic album, you get a cheaper price the more DVDs you buy. So usually what I do is that in a week, I buy 5 movies to get that promo. So I bought those 4. And the thing is that the good movies, or the more popular movies, everyone's hunting for them. So you know, it sometimes it does get kind of hard to complete the 5th movie that I need. So I picked this one up just because I needed a 5th movie, and this is Man of La Mancha, which is a movie of based on Miguel de Cervantes, who made the Don Quixote de la Mancha. So I don't remember any movies that I've seen based on him, so I was like, man, why not? Like I said, give new stuff a chance. Now, the following week, which is this week, he updated the albums, and he had this one in the TV series, and it's one I've been hunting for. I mentioned this before. There's the first time that this released on DVD, it came in a really nice box set, really thick with 4 individual DVDs, really cool. But then they re-released these into these single cases. Still cool because I don't own them. I bought the first season, and now I have Transformers the complete. Transformers Season 2 Volume 1 has 4 DVDs still sealed. 4 DVDs containing 28 episodes of the 2nd season of Transformers. So yeah, I've been hunting for Transformers for a long, long time. Finally found Season 1, and now I have Season 2. I don't know if I want to get Generation 2. There's a couple of episodes that were really good in Generation 2, but I'm more of a fan of Generation 1 that had Optimus Prime. So yeah, I think I'm good with Transformers. This, I remember, came out in the early 2000s, and I really liked it. They passed it on WB Kids, and it was a modern adaptation of Astro Boy. Now, Astro Boy is in Japan, he's big. He's like an icon, because everyone loves Astro Boy. He actually had the original black and white Astro Boy cartoons that were released in Japan, but because those are hard to come by, he had them in the special album for a little bit more expensive price than I can afford. So I didn't get those, but he had this one in the classic album. It has 10 episodes of the remade Astro Boy cartoon, and I really, really like Astro Boy. Mega Man is inspired by, I'm sure Mega Man is inspired by Astro Boy, the way that it's this kind of like kid that's a robot, and he has all these superpowers. I really, really like this cartoon. I want to see if I can get more DVDs of this series, because I'm almost sure it was a 50 episode series. I don't know why it didn't get renewed, but really, really good cartoon. The animation is good. The characters are cool, and I really, really like Astro Boy. I There was also a American adaptation of Astro Boy. So. It's not bad, but it's so. This one was a blind buy. Don't know anything about it, but I like these kind of revenge movies. At least that's what it says on the back end. One of the reasons I bought this particular movie is because it has Christopher Lloyd and Michael Ironside, and I'll pretty much buy anything that has Michael Ironside, and it's just called 88. It has a nice looking slipcover. I'm a sucker for slipcovers. And then there's the DVD still sealed. That's the thing about Movie Free Bazaar. While he does have used DVDs, sometimes you will come across a brand spanking new DVD. So I need to see that one. This one, another blind buy, but I'm going through this kick that I want to see older movies. I mentioned this before. I want to get a couple of. I'm getting into 70s thriller movies. What I'm missing is Marathon Man. But this one sounded interesting. It's released by the Criterion Collection, and it's a French movie that was banned apparently for 30 years. Until it was finally released in 2006. The movie is from 1969, and it deals with French revolutionaries dealing with or battling against Hitler's regime. So it has a 2-disc set from the Criterion Collection, and this is Army of Shadows. So I've never seen this movie. I'll flat out say I've never seen this one, but the premise on the back sounded interesting, and it's a 2-disc set, bunch of special features, and it has a really nice thick booklet explaining the movie. So yeah, that was a win-win for me. I wanted to buy it, bought it. Thankfully, no one else commented on this particular movie. And yeah. Well, of course, I do have genres that I enjoy. I like horror movies. I like action movies. I like anime. I like, but basically, pretty much most of the stuff that Disney puts out. I do like to see some, unknown, obscure, possibly artsy-fartsy movies, like probably this one. It's good to dabble in other genres that I don't normally dabble on. The only thing I don't quite like too much are like dramas. That's the one thing that I do buy and I do watch, and I do enjoy the work that goes into it, but it's not necessarily my favorite genre. This one I picked up. This one actually might be best suited for Macabro, but I'm recording this, so I just got it, so it's going on this video. But this is Communion with Christopher Walken, and it's about aliens. Now, my favorite one, and Macabro's favorite one, is Fire in the Sky. If you have not seen Fire in the Sky, watch it, and you'll be traumatized for life, because that movie is, when they actually show what happened to the guy that was abducted, oh boy, nightmare fuel. And I was reading the description on the back, and I barely remember. Maybe I might have watched this one, because Christopher Walken have a recurring dream with the aliens, and then his family says that, well, wow, that's weird. I've been having the same dream, and then he goes into a cabin, and bleh, there's the aliens. So I remember this movie, but not well. So I picked it up because I like those kind of alien movies. This is a movie that I've been trying to buy for a while. Movie Freak occasionally brings it, but people always get it. And it's not a movie that I've seen. I haven't gone to the flea markets in a while, but even when I did go to the flea markets, I never saw this or never came across this one. But it's Haywire. Starring Gina Carano, who I think might have been in Deadpool, but also has Michael Fassbender, Ewan McGregor, Bill Paxton, so right there, Bill Paxton, Channing Tatum, Antonio Banderas, and Michael Douglas. So all-star cast, and it's about this girl, Gina Carano, who is in an action role. So sold, picked it up. So that completed my 5 set. But like I said, when I go to the store. I like to go and see, because a lot of people just reserve stuff and then they don't pay for it. So what he does, that people that didn't pay for the movies that they reserved, he puts them on sale in his store. So I do like to go and see if I find anything there. And these two had I was going through them and they had comments, but then he had them at the store, so I picked them up. And this is another Criterion release, coming across a whole bunch of these Criterions. And there's nothing particularly special about Criterion. I like Criterion releases because they take. This is a little bit more prevalent now in the Blu-ray era. There are a ton of companies that are releasing obscure movies on Blu-ray with special features and everything. But before that, Criterion and maybe Kino would release, obscure movies or really popular movies, or movies that were selected for preservation. Give them a cleanup and then release them under the Criterion brand with a couple of special features. And this one is called All That Heaven Allows. It's Criterion release number 95, because these Criterion releases are numbered. And the story about this is that it's about a widow. It's a romantic movie, but it sounds interesting. It's about a widow, a rich widow that has snobby kids, like hoity-toity, oh no, with with the monocles, and they're like, I say, good sir, that is appalling. And but she's a widow, so she's stuck in the high class society, and she meets this not well-to-do guy. They fall in love, but she can't be with him because she's all hoity-toity and he's not. But it sounds like a bittersweet, and well, again, I don't like dramas. I do like seeing them and appreciating the work that goes into them. And I've never seen this movie. I only know about it because of what it says on the back. And it was released in 1955, so might be good. I don't know, but if Criterion released it, it's gotta be good or something. And the last one I picked up is Appleseed Ex Machina. Now, I mentioned before, I love anime. Just the style of animation that they have is really impressive. You can tell when you're watching an anime compared to something like from Disney back in the day, because anime has a very dynamic kind of pace. And I brought this. This is my steel box of Appleseed, because I was really worried that I already owned this, but I own the original Appleseed, and this is Appleseed Ex Machina. So really cool. It's a sci-fi anime set in the future. And yeah. I really like this one. This one was really cool. So I don't know if this is a reboot, a remake, sequel, what it could possibly be. But I love anime, and as soon as I saw it, I was worried that I already owned it, but I don't. It's two separate things, so bought it, and now I just have to sit down and watch it. But yeah, that was the relatively short, but probably went on longer than I needed, DVD and CD update. I like to, recommend the standout things that I picked up. Of course, I'm going to go with Transformers. It's Transformers. It's got Dinobots, robots that combine to create a giant, big-ass robot. I'm going to recommend Astro Boy. This is really cool. Again, the animation is a lot of fun. It's well animated. The effects are cool, because this wasn't in a time where they were mixing animation with like 3D, so it looks interesting. And Return of Pink Panther. Probably mentioned this when I bought the box set, that Return is my favorite one. I remember they would pass these on TV a lot, and yeah, I remember this one in particular. So really happy to finally add that and complete my Peter Sellers Pink Panther movie collection. So, thanks so much for watching, guys. Leave a comment if you've seen any of one of these movies. Uh, I, don't know if I can recommend something like Man of La Mancha or Army of Shadows for everyone. It's just the way that I collect my movies again. While I do have genres that I like, I do like seeing some obscure stuff. Maybe it's a good movie, maybe it's a freaking depressing movie, maybe it's a hot pile of shit. But at least I gave it a shot, and I take something out of it. The worst sin that a movie has is that it's boring. If a movie is boring, it fails in every aspect. But maybe a serious movie can become a comedy because they're trying really hard, and it's just hilarious how nothing works or stuff like that. But it's all about movies. You gotta. Personally, I enjoy movies. I like talking about movies, which is why my movie videos tend to go half an hour long. But yeah, that's how I roll. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and until I see you all again, this was Vargas recording not in the Vargas Vault. Thanking you, and I'll see you later.